Hey guys, welcome to the Ossuary Lens Deconstructed episode 2. And today we're dealing with chaos theory. Today we're going to just go over it kind of sparsely. The reason behind that is that I did a deep dive on the song with all the intricacies you could ever want over at riffart.com. So if you want to learn the song note for note, head over there and we'll get it done. Let's get started. So coming out of refraction, we're left with that A harmonic minor. So for people that don't really know their scales, basically harmonic minors, we're just raising the 7th scale degree of that scale so it sounds a little bit more exotic, right? So that becomes... And utilizing that note that we change, we get some cool chords. So this whole thing starts in A, right? And it's just going to walk down in the scale to the 5 chord. So, but like, because of that note, our 7th becomes a diminished chord. I guess if you're playing this on the 6th string, down to an F, and then E, right? How we play it. And those chords will take you through the whole intro, and then we can just talk about what's going over top of them. So what's going over top of them, these arpeggios, they're really just kind of like emulating what's going on below. So an A minor, so this G sharp diminished, to an F major, to this E dominant, except at the very bottom it turns into a B diminished, right? And we talked about that in refraction, how in our E dominant chord there's like this, inherently in the dominant chord there is this tritone or diminished kind of interval. So that's how you can interchange them, and we talked about them as kind of like a chord substitution. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're taking that E dominant and then flipping it to a B diminished at the very end. But you see it all sounds like it belongs. And that's mainly because the only note that's not a common tone ends up being this F here. Right? That's not in that E chord. Okay, now it brings us to that kind of 2/3 section that we talked about in refraction, except now present in the electric guitars. So Mike's part is going to start with the very waltz-like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go into the kind of 2/3 stuff where it's like 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. So there's only 2 pulses in a 3 spot, right? So this is Mike's part. 3, 1, 2. And now it goes into the 2/3 part. Right? If I count with that, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and which brings you to my part, which is going to start with the 2/3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. And we move to the straight 3. Alright, so we're now at the verse, that axis in refraction where we're moving between A minor and E major. This time it's going to be A minor and F. With this, we're just hovering here in this A area, right? Going to the F major in an inversion, back to the A minor, back to the F major. Right here, this is just an F major 7. And then that leaves us to back to our diminished, kind of Castlevania thing. And the cool thing about these fully diminished 7ths is in a diminished 7 chord you have 4 notes and they can just rotate, right? So they can link to each other. These are all the same notes. They're just rotating what notes on the bottom, what notes up on the top. Yada yada. So to our turnaround, which is all going to be in E. back to where sharp 7. Hey guys, if you're interested in some of our back catalog over at Shit Happens, we got a couple albums for you. Really helps the band out. They look amazing, and yeah, up your guitar game. So our final little part that we'll go over today is the chorus. Cool thing about this is a very mellow-death part, and it's just going to be running octaves, but each guitar is doing something different. Mike's part. Now my part. So most of that is moving in the exact same direction in a straight third harmony, but sometimes one voice will move contrary and move up and stuff like that, and just add some interesting stuff going on. So a good way to make your some of your parts sound really huge if you're running these octaves is to harmonize them per side for guitar, but then every once in a while have a guitar break pattern and move in a different direction real quick. That brings us to the end of this episode. If you want to see something else from this, leave it in the comments below and I'll handle it. If anybody is ever interested, you can head over to my website, gregbridgesguitar.com, and you can, if you're ever got any questions, you can hit me up over there, and we can maybe we'll hang out and do some guitar lessons and stuff if you so choose. So I will see you back here for episode 3, Driftwood.